Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Victory Insider. My name is Kelly Selleck and I am here with Pastor Ben and Alyssa Archer, and so excited for you guys to get to know them today. We're here in the student auditorium because these guys right here, you know them as your student pastors. But Victory Insider is all about kind of getting behind the scenes, getting beyond the weekend really, where you probably see them the most, and getting to know them on a more personal level. So some of you may have seen Pastor Ben over in the main sanctuary, speaking on the weekend in our adult services. But if you have middle school or high school kids, you know both of these guys. Like I said, they are our student ministry pastors. So week in and week out, they are investing in the next generation of this church. And we love that. Love that so much. So we're super excited for you guys to get to know them a little bit better. So are you guys ready?
I'm ready.
You're ready to go? Yeah. Okay. So let's just start with, where are y'all from? Where'd you grow up?
Okay, my
Why
turn.
don't you go first?
Okay, so I am from, well, it's Butler address, but Slippery Rock. I went to Slippery Rock High School.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and I'm from Burgettstown. And if you don't know where Burgettstown is, it's like the tri-state area, literally at the bottom, next to West Virginia and Ohio. So.
Okay, so country.
Country, like post-Cazette Pavilion, First Niagara, whatever you would call it these days.
Yeah.
Right there, that amphitheater. That's
Okay.
where I grew up in those woods.
Okay, so how did y'all get to Victory Family Church? How was church? Let's start with, how was church introduced into your life? Did you grow up going to church, or?
Yeah, so I grew up in a Pentecostal church from the time that I was born. Like, I've always gone to church, and then, but I started to come to Victory. I was invited by a friend, and I started coming to 19 North, and then I started coming to the main service.
Okay.
Yeah.
And 19 North is to be our young adult ministry, and so for those of you who are young adults, want to meet some friends, it's a good place.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so very similar for me, very Pentecostal, like this holy rollers,
Yeah.
right? We had
Yeah.
we had flags, we had tambourines,
Yes.
and so and then basically when I was about 23, I made my way to Victory, and so
Okay.
and I got connected through the young adult ministry. Yeah.
Everybody's hearing that right now.
Yeah.
Young adult ministry. So is that where you guys met?
It is.
We
Yeah.
did meet at 19
Yeah.
North. Yes.
Yep.
But it was not love
I
at
was
first
gonna say,
sight.
was it
No,
love at-
no.
No.
I didn't like him at all.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took him a whole year to persuade me to go out on a date with him.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I knew actually when I met her the very first time I was here, like God just like put in my heart, like, you'll marry that girl. And then she just
Okay.
wasn't feeling it.
I didn't get.
You didn't
that.
get
So-
you didn't get the
God
memo.
didn't tell me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm like, what's up, God? Like that's what you. So, but I knew, and so I was patient through all of that. I asked her to ice cream 15 times.
yeah, 15.
Did you count all? You were like tallying them.
There might be a slight stretch, but
yeah.
legit, it
Yeah.
was a lot.
It
She
was.
turned me down.
And the sad thing is that when we finally got together, I like did not remember all of the conversations that we had had, all the times he had pursued me. I had just nonchalantly told him no.
Yeah.
So what was the deal, Alyssa? You just weren't feeling it?
I just wasn't feeling it. I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. You did change your style in that year, though, so maybe, I don't know.
What style were you coming from, Ben?
From Burgettstown, okay, country, and to I don't
And your hair wasn't
know.
done. I don't know.
More to what like I am now, whatever that would be.
Yeah, he changed in that
Yeah.
year, so
Okay.
yeah, he went
The
shopping.
Lord was working on my heart.
So at what point did you say yes to ice cream at some point, or
You
what
never
was
took me to ice cream.
No, I didn't, and I won't. Okay, so
bitter moment?
yeah, for the sake of
Really
our
upset
marriage,
about
Yeah.
it's not good if we go to ice cream.
I just go by myself. It's fine.
Yeah, gosh, no. So we would go out after the young adult ministry. 19 North is what it was called at the time, and so we would go out and she saw my sense of humor. She glanced across the table. She was like, "Whoa, this guy just is gorgeous," and that was
That
it.
I don't know if that crossed my
Yeah.
mind. I'm sure I thought.
So
he
at
was
that
so
time, I was in
handsome.
like, and she was in love, and so I mean,
right.
Of course.
yeah,
We'll just let you think that.
So what was the actual first date?
We went bowling.
yeah, we did go bowling.
Yeah, we did go bowling. I don't know who won.
I was gonna say this is important.
But it's
Who is the
funny.
better bowler?
It's funny because like we would go on these dates, and then all of a sudden, she would call me on the way home, and she'd be like, "Yeah, I just, it's not going to work. We can't talk anymore.
I did that 3 times in a row.
Yeah. And so,
sorry.
and like, but
I was really bad. Yeah, I'm sorry.
I had such peace because I just kept, I'm like, Lord, wait a minute. You said that she was the one, like, I'm trying not to be a weirdo here.
Yeah.
And so I just literally would say, okay. And I'd hang up the phone and I'd be like, what the heck, God? Like, you know, but I'd get so much peace. And then I would text her like a few days later and I'd be like, hey, you want to go do this other thing? Like, you want to go to dinner?
He was persistent. You couldn't tell.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I just kept talking her into liking me.
Yeah.
And here we are.
And here we are.
We're married.
married.
Yeah.
So what kind of advice do you have for all the guys that are watching this?
Trick them, and then when they're fooled, marry them quickly. Just kidding.
No, that's cool. That's cool. So fast forward a little bit. How long were you guys? You obviously got married. How long were you dating before you popped the question, Ben?
Oh my gosh. So I knew that she was the one. So 1 month in, I started asking her questions, and I bought the ring, but I didn't tell her.
Oh.
I would have ran.
So because I thought like that would be weird,
Yeah.
right? Like
yeah.
you just started dating this dude in a month in the dating that like so
So you were a month in and you bought the ring.
yes, I bought the ring.
Wow.
Confident.
He knew.
He did know.
He
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so I waited 6 months and I got to know like her personality and so I just kind of started alluding and talking to about marriage and stuff like that before I actually proposed to her.
Okay.
Yeah, we were on the same page when he popped the question.
Yeah.
So you finally got there.
Yeah.
So was there a grand proposal or what
There
was
There
it?
was. It was very grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll maybe.
It was
tell
intense.
Yeah.
It was intense.
It was.
So fellas, if you're not married or guys that are married, I'm going to help you because without arrogance,
He might not help you.
I know how to wine and dine. Okay. And so basically I started planning with my family and her mom. I went
Okay.
and I drove and I asked her parents for approval. And so my father-in-law was like, why are you asking me? And I'm like, what do you mean? Like, because they love the Lord and they're in church and all that stuff. And he's like, I never would have asked my in-laws because they would have said no. So I just, but of course you got my blessing. And so I called her boss and I scheduled a day off for her without her knowing.
Oh. Okay.
And so I went to work at her place and I got flowers for her and all of this stuff and a note. And I basically planned a day date. And she had no idea. She showed up to work. And so we went, I got us a couple massages. And then because I worked with her mom, she packed her bag and I drove us to I drove us to the airport to go to Florida. She had no idea each step of the way. Like she could have ran and she didn't, but she just kept going. I only would give like a snippet at a time of what's next. And then we flew into Florida where my aunt was there. And so my aunt picked us up. She had like a black car with tinted windows, and she had a sign. So Alyssa had no idea that this was my aunt. It was awesome. And she's like, where are you taking me? And so my aunt drove us to the beach and my aunt and her family, they set up like a whole entire like picnic. It was amazing. Pulled out all the stops, had her favorite flowers, her favorite root beer, and just like all of these things. And when we got there, I proposed to her.
Wow.
Yeah. And his uncle and cousin were on the beach taking pictures and videos, and I didn't know who they were. So I didn't know that those weren't
Strangers.
Hired help.
Yeah. I had a strategy.
Yeah.
Like if she would have said no, I would have been like, okay, figure out how you're getting home. Like, no, I'm just kidding. I would not have done that.
Wow, that's pretty grandiose.
Yes.
Right there. So what was your reaction? Like you loved it? Like was that totally?
Yeah, it was so much fun because it was like in a little adventure. You didn't know what was happening next, even though I kind of assumed what was going to be the end result. I mean, flying me to Florida. So
Yeah. That's pretty awesome. No pressure, fellas.
yeah, sorry.
No pressure.
No pressure. Okay, so now we know what the proposal was like. What was the wedding day?
Oh, it was
The
so
wedding.
yeah, it was fun. It was on the beach. It
All
was
right.
just, I think, about 50
Yeah,
people.
we did a destination wedding. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you brought it back to the beach.
We
did.
Yeah,
Where
all
it
around
happened.
the beach because we
Mhm.
love the beach. And it was
Yeah.
sunset wedding. It was so much fun. We got there a couple of days prior to the wedding, and so did our friends. So we got to celebrate with everybody
That's awesome.
and have fun with them like the whole week. So
Very cool.
yeah.
Very cool. So Alyssa, you have, as Ben has told some of the congregation, a Mexican background. Is that
I
right?
do have a Mexican background. So I had a grandfather who was Mexican, but unfortunately that Mexican culture and heritage was not passed down. So sadly, I don't speak Spanish. So I'm kind of like not a real Mexican, but like I'm kind of, I'm not real. I'm so sorry.
real one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's in there. So he's not lying. I am
Yeah.
Mexican. I'm just probably more Italian, I would
Ooh,
say.
okay,
So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like Mexican food, but I like Italian food better because I grew up on Italian
But who
food.
doesn't though?
Okay. Okay.
I mean, Italian food.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
Did you ever have like authentic Mexican?
not for my family or anything
Okay.
like that, but like I've been
Okay.
to more authentic restaurants. So
All right.
yeah.
So what's your favorite Italian? Because this is an Italian church, or we have an Italian pastor, so it's important to know what is your favorite Italian food.
I mean, I love ravioli. I love anything stuffed. So like stuffed shells, anything with a whole bunch of cheese. I love cheese. So cheese is
Amen.
good. Yeah. Mhm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
What about you? You got anything?
Chicken parm.
Okay.
Yeah. I love chicken
Mhm.
parm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have 2 kids now, but this Mexican background of yours has maybe influenced the name of your daughter,
It has. Yeah.
which is Ben. You want to tell him?
Yeah. Mila Catalina Archer.
That is a Mexican
Yeah.
name right there.
Yes,
It is.
it is.
We really like the Hispanic names.
Yes.
Ben did want to name our son Carlos. I rolled that out.
I tried. So we landed with Eli.
Yeah, Eli.
So-
which is not.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
Eli
is.
Totally not.
James.
Yeah.
Well, we figured that like we needed someone in the family to relate to me that's white and pasty, and so we just leaned into that. We're like, okay, Eli James. I mean, I guess we could have named him John.
Yeah, that's true.
For Pastor John, for anybody.
Of course.
Yeah.
So how old is Mila now?
She's almost 3.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
3 next month.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know.
And Eli is like
He's 2 months.
2
2
months
months,
Yeah.
2.5,
So he's
yeah.
itty bitty.
Aw. So did you guys know that you always wanted kids? Is that always?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we did.
before we started having kids, I'm not kidding you, I wanted 10.
Wow.
Yeah.
I did not want 10 at
Now
any
that you
point.
have a few.
I would be okay.
Okay.
I would be okay like with 2. I don't
Yeah.
think that that's in our future. I think that there's definitely one
I
more
think
in the
there's
future.
one more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but if you were to just ask, hey, Ben Archer, you're going to make the decision, I would say I'm okay with 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you came off the 10.
I came off the 10.
Thank God.
Yeah, I was on
Yeah.
cloud
I
9.
don't-
I'm
I definitely
here.
couldn't
I'm on,
do 10.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That was definitely never.
Which is maybe a sign of many of us who, before we have kids, are like, "This is how it's going to be," and
Right.
whatever. And you don't, and then you have them, and then you're like, "Oh."
Yeah, 1 was easy, and then 2 came, and we were like, "What happened?" Like,
Yeah.
not that he's a hard baby.
There's an
he's very
adjustment.
easy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nobody told us.
For sure.
Yeah. I think they did. We just
I
were
don't
like,
know. They might have.
yeah.
Were there any of those things that you find now as parents that you're like, I never thought I would have said that before,
Oh
or
my
done
gosh,
that,
that's-
or
I feel like every week I'm saying, so can I just tell you real quick?
Yes.
This is so uncomfortable, but this is what it is. This is our life right now.
Yeah.
I never have I ever thought that I would say, Mila, it's okay that the poop comes out of your butt. I never like,
Yeah.
and the list goes like, there's so much more that like,
Yeah.
I catch myself saying things that I'm like, I just never thought I would say this as an adult.
We do talk about poop a lot.
Yeah,
true.
it's unfortunate. That's
are
our
you
life.
in the potty training phase
Mhm.
right now?
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah.
That's
So
fun.
that's why.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
fun. Any funny parenting stories you want to share?
Oh man, this is. So we almost had to keep Mila out of children's church for like 3 weeks. Actually, we did for like 3 weeks.
Well, it wasn't. Well, kind of.
I made a mistake. I made a mistake.
Yeah.
So 2 years ago, Mila started talking very early. So She's like a mockingbird, like most kids, right?
And she is, by the way, one of the cutest kids.
Thank you. Thank you.
Super
She
cute.
takes after me.
Of
I'm just
course.
kidding.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
kidding.
Well, she does look like you, actually.
Yeah,
so,
really.
She's really cute.
but she is very cute.
Yeah.
So we were setting up Christmas lights, and we have like a split level home, okay? And I thought it was just one pack of lights, but there were 3. And so I'm like carrying it over the banister, and 2 of them fall off, and just like it just slipped. I accidentally said the S word. I don't talk like that.
Yeah.
It just came out like,
Yeah.
whoops,
Yeah.
my bad. And
Yeah.
and I look over, and Mila's staring at me, just like, and she just starts saying it
Oh,
again and again. And so I'm like, I'm trying
that
to
was
like,
the one word she really picked up on.
I'm trying to deflect. I'm like,
So we taught her other
You said
words.
ship,
Yeah.
or like all kinds of
Yeah,
things
or
like
sit.
that, like sit down and
Yeah.
like that's
Yeah.
what you're saying. And but no, she was saying the
she
word.
was saying it, yeah.
and so
She doesn't say it anymore. We
yeah,
did
right,
work that
right.
out
We
with
worked that
her.
out,
Yeah.
and we had, but like for 3 weeks we had to stay at a children's church because I'm like,
So the youth pastor's kid, 3-year-olds come.
yeah, I am human. So,
Our bad.
but it's so funny because like I don't talk like that.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like
Yeah.
the one time,
one time,
and that's
yeah.
what
She
you
just
catch.
happened
Yep.
to be there.
Yep.
That's it.
That's pretty funny. So how about anything you like to do for fun? Any hobbies?
Yeah, we like to, as a family, do like kayaking,
Yeah.
paddleboarding, hiking. We just like to be outside pretty
Yeah,
much.
very outdoorsy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Your favorite, do you go camping?
We did a kayak camping trip when we
One
got
time.
married.
Okay.
One time.
And that was a disaster.
Yeah, it was
But-
like because finally we're married, so we can stay together, we can go
Right.
do things, and so we did this kayaking camping trip, and like I missed the spot that we were gonna land to set up camp, so we had to like
You can't go
machete.
back. Yeah.
Oh,
So we had to make our
man.
own campsite,
Yeah.
and we had to machete like down all these plants so that we could put our tent down.
Yeah,
And then Ben stayed up the whole night with a gun outside of our tent because he
kept
was afraid
hearing
of
things.
bears.
and so
And I
like
just wanted to
legit, I'm like
sleep.
I'm
Was
I'm
this
in
in
a
Pennsylvania?
This was in
Okay.
Pennsylvania.
yeah.
And so I decided we're not doing another night of this.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So that we did do camping.
Okay.
One time we'll revisit it.
Yeah. Yeah, we will.
Yeah.
Back, circle
So
back.
Yeah.
yeah.
Circle back to that one.
Yeah.
Is there anything that people would be shocked to know about you?
Yeah. Okay. So yes, I had a criminal justice, I have a criminal justice degree, and I worked in a coroner's office for a little bit because I did want to be a homicide detective at one point. And then I realized quickly that that was not for me. So then I went into counseling, which is much more my
She needed
speed
counseling.
Yeah.
after my experience.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. I would have never, I don't know that I would have pegged you for that,
Yep.
Alyssa.
Yeah, nobody would have. So
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Was there do you have any interesting stories you want to share about the coroner's office?
I don't even know if anyone.
Didn't somebody sit up one time?
Oh my.
No, nobody set up anytime.
Okay, or they
my.
made some kind of noise that startled you or something
No,
on your
I
first
didn't
day?
like just sit in the morgue with dead bodies the whole time. I like had an office away from.
Was it like really depressing? I feel like
It was
something like
extremely
that.
depressing because you had to
Incredibly
read like all these stories about how people died all the time.
Oh, yeah,
So
no.
yeah, it wasn't.
Not fun.
It was like too sad, and I worked by myself, and so it was very lonely.
In other words, what she's saying is, please pray for her.
I'm not
Healing
there
and
any-
deliverance.
I'm okay.
What about you?
So I got something.
Okay.
I was in band. Many people might not know that. They might not know that. So in high school, I was in the drum line, and I got a funny story to this too.
You played or play the drums.
Yes.
People might not know that
Yes.
either. Yeah.
And so one time we were walking off the football field, and I had the big bass drum, and I was in the back of the line, and we were doing the cadence, and we're walking, and I tripped. And so I had the harness on the drum that like connected in the back. And so when I rolled with the drum, I got trapped because my helmet just didn't slide through the harness. And so like the chin strap is sitting, I'm choking. And the band left me. Everybody just kept going. They're walking off the field, and the band director literally comes running across the field to help me. And I'm like it felt like a minute. I don't know how long it really was, but I'm like, I'm dying, gasping for air, and I just couldn't get over the drum. And so she came over and rolled me back over. I'm like,
That'd be a way to go right there, huh?
like everybody's in the
Marching band.
stands. They're watching. People are watching.
my
I'm so like,
gosh.
it was kind of,
That would be
I might be
traumatic.
traumatized. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, that's a pretty wild story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you do play the drums, and you told me that you were in a
Heavy metal band. Yeah.
heavy metal
Yes.
band.
Screamo.
So, screamo. It
To
was.
be exact.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was wild. I was the drummer. And so some fun stories. You know, like when you're a young musician, everybody thinks you're going to make it. You know, like we're so good.
Yeah.
And you go
Yeah.
back now and you watch and you're like, oh my gosh. Like
So
my
people,
ears hurt.
People need to know, what was the name of this band?
Shadows Against My Reflection. Sam R. Sam R.
Sam R.
Yeah.
That's deep, Ben.
Yeah.
That's deep. So are you guys on YouTube?
We are. Yes.
They're on YouTube, folks.
Oh my.
But just for you right now, we're going to give you a quick clip of this screamo band, Sam R. Check it out.
Next song is called Light in a Dark Place.
So
Embarrassing.
So
Super embarrassing. You think you're so good when you're young, you're like, oh my gosh, we're gonna make it. We're gonna get signed. And like when you go back and look at it now, it's like, oh my gosh, no wonder why we had to buy all of our own tickets to play at these places.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
yeah, and you guys might not have been able to see Ben in that clip. So we have a picture of an old CD cover for you.
Their own CD.
And there's Ben right in smack dab in the middle. All what?
125
125 pounds.
Yeah.
That might have been why I wasn't interested in dating you in the beginning.
I look Ethiopian.
Wait, so was this band happening when you guys
No,
No, but he
no.
kind of had that like
I still
look,
have the
Oh,
same
gotcha.
look. Yeah.
size when we met.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yeah, I was very
Yeah.
thin.
yeah, I
Yeah.
fattened him up.
Yeah.
He's not even fat though, but
We like to eat.
yeah,
Okay.
we do.
Who doesn't?
So we have to be mindful of what we eat. Minute on your lips, forever on your hips. I'm talking to myself. This is all just for me. This is.
Oh man. So you guys get to minister to middle school students, high school students every week. A lot of the parents that are maybe watching this don't get inside of the student auditorium.
Yeah.
They don't get to see what happens in student ministries all the time. So what's maybe some of the fun or interesting parts of student ministries that you want to share?
So we get to play pretty much
Yeah.
sometimes, not
Yeah.
every
Yeah.
week, but like last week we did dodgeball. We did
We're always doing something
Yeah,
fun
kicking-
like that.
slip and slide stuff.
Yeah.
Like over the summer.
Archery
so
tag, and it's just
Nerf
like
gun battles.
like
and
we're
we
preaching to your
participate.
kids.
Yeah,
we are preaching
we
to your
do teach
kids.
them
That's
Jesus.
happening.
Yeah.
Like we do that, but we like to have a lot of fun.
Yeah, we participate in these activities. I mean,
This is our chance to not grow up.
yeah,
So
it's fun. Yeah, it's a lot
Yeah.
of fun.
All the parents watching right now are like,
we're not sending them back.
what are our kids?
Yeah.
Well, maybe that.
We're not-
Like,
they're not going back.
what are our kids telling me?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're so transparent, you know? What's the most rewarding thing for you guys in student, being...
I think it's fun now because we oversee middle school and high school, so we get to, and we'll continue to get to watch them grow.
Yeah.
Because we've had I think they're in 10th grade now. We've had them since they were in 5th grade. So it's been fun to watch their growth over the years
Yeah.
and watch them mature and remember them when they were those 5th grade middle schoolers and now they're in
Yeah.
high school and they're cool. So it's fun to watch that transformation and fun to see the fruit of, what the parents are doing, what we're doing. It's great to watch that.
Yeah, it is fun to partner with parents and to be able to just do life. And being in our role for so long, like Alyssa said, has been rewarding, seeing the fruit that has come from that. And I'm excited to continue to see that.
So you guys have had the opportunity to watch a lot of these kids grow up over the years. What are I'm sure you see a lot of life change happen in that span of time. Do you want to share some of the maybe stories or impact you've seen in these kids?
I think for me, having kids has helped me in ministry, because now when I see your kids or other kids, I'm able to translate it, and I'm like, well, how would I talk to my daughter? How would I love my daughter? How would I love my son? And so when I see our kids in the room, I just have, there's even more of a passion for me. And so being able to be, for our fifth graders, I'm old enough to be their dad. And for our seniors, I'm old enough to be a big brother. And so it's like able to speak into their life and love them like that. I just have seen God use me in that capacity to be a father to the fatherless. And it's, the transformation is just, watching that happen is overwhelming. And it is easy to take it for granted, because you see it so much that you can almost become numb to it. But we talk about it all the time, and just try to remind ourselves what an amazing opportunity it is, because when you sit in that, you really can become numb to it. But just seeing that transformation it's overwhelming.
And I've really enjoyed seeing, because a lot of times students come in and they don't really know anybody, or they only have friends at school, which maybe aren't Christian friends. And so I've loved seeing time and time again students coming in and they find their core group of people in student ministries. And so that core group of students will grow together, and it's great to see them kind of sharpen each other and spur one another on. They start serving together, they do serve day projects together. And so it's just really great to see how somebody comes in not knowing anybody, kind of feeling isolated and alone, and they get their group, and just seeing that group just continue to just grow together and just get even closer.
Like I remember we had one kid that this would probably be the person that you would think like they frustrate me the most. They're the most annoying, and it very easily you can become irritated with this person. And I remember just like pulling them aside and saying like, hey, I see you. I love you, and I'm glad that you're here. And I'm like, what's going on? And so he started telling me all the surface level stuff. And I said, no, okay, I hear what you're saying, but what's going on? And you could just see that it clicked for him. And like, it's fun how God just uses you sometimes. And it just wrecked him. And he ended up telling me about like his situation at home. He doesn't see, he's not seen at home. His dad's busy working and too distracted, and mom's doing this, and like there's no one to process with him. And he was just seen, and you could tell he just like, he broke down in tears, and just that I saw him. It's just fun how God will use you sometimes to just lean in and push past those things. And I gotta tell you that I love that. I love being in that environment, and I love being around what could be said as like the unlovable, right? It's amazing that God has called us to be a part of this.
Yeah. Well, everybody watching, we have some amazing student ministry pastors right here. We really do. And they're investing in your kids week in and week out. Such great examples you guys are. And just want to say thank you for all that you invest in the church, all that you do here for our kids. And thank you for sitting down with me and taking the time to let everybody get to know you a little bit better. And thanks guys for watching. This is another episode of Victory Insider.